Sometimes, real life writes stories more chilling than any horror film. This is one of those cases. In the summer of 2016, 25-year-old machinist Justin Hilbert was brutally murdered in Riverside County, California. The case would uncover layers of jealousy, betrayal, and a sinister plot that shocked a whole region. His fiancée, Tonya Reppe, expecting their first child, was left with more questions than answers. Today, we unveil the truth behind a tragedy that seemed orchestrated by darkness itself. Tonya and Justin reconnected after many years apart. In 2015, they learned Tonya was pregnant, a surprise, but one they welcomed eagerly. Justin, battling drug addiction, had recently turned his life around. He was determined to provide for his future family. Their relationship felt like a second chance, both romantic and redemptive. On June 21, 2016, Justin's body was discovered at dawn, alongside La Sierra Avenue, near Lake Matthews. He had been beaten, stabbed, and shot in the face, then moved post-mortem to that remote roadside location. It became clear almost immediately. This was not random violence. Tonya was devoted, engaged to Justin, and their infant son Logan was just months old. She described him as caring, funny, dedicated, a man ready to build a future together. His loss shattered not just her world, but his family's and the community's too. Initially, investigators had few leads. Then they turned their attention to Jared Bischoff, Tonya's ex-husband. Rumors of their troubled, abusive past resurfaced. Detectives discovered Jared had motive, jealousy and bitterness over Tonya's engagement to Justin, coupled with a hefty $100,000 life insurance policy worth on Tonya's life. As police dug deeper, they uncovered a disturbing connection. Bailey Sharp, the woman Jared was dating, had sent friend requests to Tonya and Justin on Facebook and exchanged messages with him. Jared allegedly enlisted Bailey and a third man, Danny Serrano, promising monetary reward to carry out a plan to kill both Tonya and Justin. While authorities focused on Justin's case, tragedy struck again. In July 2016, Bailey Sharp was found dead from multiple stab wounds. Jared fled California in a high-speed chase, ultimately arrested and charged with her murder. His capture only intensified scrutiny on Justin's murder. A key witness, known as Ricky, came forward. He had overheard Jared, Bailey, and Danny plotting to kill Tonya and her new family in order to collect the life insurance. That testimony helped piece together a sinister conspiracy. Soon after, Jared and Danny were arrested and charged in Justin's killing too. Finally, in June 2024, justice was delivered. Jared Bischoff and Danny Serrano were convicted on charges of murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy in connection with Justin Hilbert's death. Both received life sentences without the possibility of parole. In court, the evidence was overwhelming. Surveillance footage, phone records, text messages, and witness testimony revealed a calculated murder-for-hire scheme. Jared had not only planned Justin's execution, but had also manipulated those around him, especially Bailey Sharp, using her trust and relationship as tools to lure the victims into his trap. Prosecutors painted a chilling picture. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was premeditated, cold, and rooted in greed. Tonya, devastated and in shock, testified bravely during the trial. She spoke of the pain of losing Justin, of raising their child without him, and the trauma of knowing her ex-husband had tried to erase her entire future. Her voice never broke, even when describing the moment she learned Justin had been shot and stabbed. Her strength in that courtroom became a symbol of survival, proof that even after unspeakable loss, truth can still find its way forward. But the psychological damage lingered. Tonya revealed in later interviews that she suffered from PTSD, paranoia, and deep guilt. Guilt for not seeing the signs. Guilt for ever trusting Jared. She moved away from California, hoping to rebuild a life of peace for her and her son. What she carried with her, though, was heavier than any suitcase, memories of a love stolen, and the haunting knowledge that someone once vowed to love her had tried to destroy her. The story of Justin Hilbert and Tonya Reppe isn't just a tragic murder case, it's a window into the terrifying reality of domestic violence and obsession. Jared couldn't accept that Tonya had moved on. He couldn't stand to see her happy with someone else. And rather than deal with that pain, he chose destruction. He weaponized control. And that decision cost 2 people their lives, and nearly a third. For many, the case became a warning that even after a breakup, abuse doesn't always end. Sometimes it escalates. Sometimes it hides behind fake smiles and silence. Jared had convinced those around him he had changed, that he was moving forward. But deep inside, he was planning, calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. Bailey Sharp, too, became a victim of Jared's manipulation. Though initially complicit in his plan, many believe she wanted to back out. That decision may have cost her life. Her murder was swift, brutal, and deliberate. Jared made sure no loose ends were left behind, except one, the witness, the man who would finally break the silence and expose everything. Justin Hilbert never got to hold his son, never got to see the life he was working so hard to build. But his name now lives on as a symbol, not just of what was lost, but of what must be protected. Justice was served, but the wound remains deep. And the lesson? That darkness often comes from where you least expect it. Sometimes from those who once said, "I love you." In the aftermath of the trial, Tonya began speaking out publicly about the importance of recognizing warning signs in toxic relationships. She encourages others, especially women, to trust their instincts, to speak up, and to get out before it's too late. Her advocacy has helped others facing similar dangers feel seen, heard, and supported. Today, Tonya is focused on healing and raising her son. Justin's family remains close to her, united in their shared grief and love for the man they lost. The community still remembers him, not as a victim, but as a kind soul, taken too soon by hatred he never deserved. And with every day that passes, the story of Justin Hilbert continues to echo as both tragedy and cautionary tale. Because sometimes the scariest stories are the true ones. If this story left you speechless, you're not alone. The case of Tonya Reppe and Justin Hilbert is a chilling reminder that sometimes the real danger comes from the people closest to us. What do you think truly happened behind closed doors? Was this a story of calculated manipulation or a tragedy no one saw coming? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more real stories that are darker than fiction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe,